when you're going about hiring local help, you've got to be very careful with who it is you decide to work with, because you never know who you're going to come across. You never know if you're coming across someone who just got out of jail yesterday, if you're coming across someone who spent the last 10 years in prison because he killed his ex-wife. You don't know if you're coming across somebody who is looking to do some harm. So it's important to do some kind of vetting. At the very least, Google their name before you decide to work with someone on a long term, or even if it's for a short term project. That's the first thing. After that, determine what is it that you're going to pay these people. I'll tell you, what I usually like to do is I like to offer people payment through cash. So then that way, you don't have to worry about paying taxes or doing any of that other stuff, because it can get very hairy. And especially when you're starting out, I don't think you're looking to hire anyone long term, because then you have to pay for health insurance, and I guess that's about it. Health insurance. Well, it depends. If you hire them and they work for you part time, as opposed to full time. And also, when you're going to hire locally, it's important that you know what it is that you expect from that person and what you need them to do, and if you have some kind of guidance for them, it's important to put that together. Like maybe some kind of a pamphlet or a handbook, saying, hey, welcome to my organization, or thank you for applying to this gig that I put up on the internet. I expect X and X and X from you, and you can expect X and X and X from me, so on and so on. So make sure it's clear from the beginning, because if it's not, then there could be some discrepancies between, you and the other person. No harm, no foul. Especially if you're going about doing it in a very limited liability kind of way, only doing cash, no pay stubs, paper trail, or any of that stuff, then hey, you'll be fine. I like to hire local people to help me with, flyer marketing. So, if you're at a point where you don't need to go out there and do flyers on your own anymore, you have enough capital, enough cash flow to hire it out, then go, do it by all means. But make sure you have a system in place where you can make sure and confirm that these people are doing their job, as far as passing out flyers, because, it's easy to give someone 1,000 flyers or 500 flyers or whatever it is. And then once you leave, it's easy for that person to just dump them and then call you a few hours later and say, yeah, I passed out all the flyers, where's my money? And that leaves you in a position where, well, okay, here you go, pay the guy, right? But then, how do you know if he did the job or not? I've heard some people like to stay with the hired help and kind of look at the parking lot, watch them as they pass out the flyers in their car. But doesn't that defeat the purpose of hiring someone to do it? Your time is still being used up supervising, right? Maybe there's a mobile app that you can look into that would track the GPS location of people. That way you can see if they go from car to car. The other thing that you can hire local help for is maybe taking phone calls. You can do that remotely, but it's nice to have someone local also. Maybe work out of your office or your home, maybe somewhere in the corner, whatever. You can also hire someone to, put out some advertisements on the road, on the street. You can hire people to do all kinds of things. See, the advantage of hiring people locally, yes, it is more expensive, but at the same time, you can see what they're doing. You can guide them along the way. You can kind of tweak what they're doing and improve it very quickly and in real time. Whereas when you're doing it remotely, there are barriers. There's remote barriers there. But yeah, hiring local help is a little bit more expensive, especially if you're going to do it full time. But in some cases, it's worth it. Like I said, especially if you're dealing with customers in person, you're going to need someone local who can meet with these clients, talk to them, explain to them what it is that you do, the service that you offer, how it'll benefit them. Because people like to work like face to face. There's not a whole lot of people that I know of, well, back in my day, before all this, that like doing things remotely. And from what I understand, there's still a lot of people that like to do things in person. So that's another big advantage. How are you going to get a remote agent to come with you to look at a property and figure out if it's a good deal or not. You know, you can't do a property inspection remotely. I don't think so. I mean, you know, a lot of these companies these days are doing funny things, trying to make things remote that shouldn't be remote. Like, for example, virtual dating. What is virtual dating? That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of. I mean, I just can't. Virtual dating. It's too much. Anyway. So yeah, there are advantages. There are advantages to hiring people in person, and there's advantages to hiring people remotely. This video is about hiring people in person. You know, like I said, I recommend doing it, especially when you're starting out, maybe part-time, a few hours, you know, do like a set rate. Especially if you find someone who's very grateful, very eager, very humble, and is willing to work with you and help you out. I mean, you can offer them $10, you know, for a few hours, $10 an hour for a few hours. You know, I went on Craigslist the other day, and I was appalled to find that there are still companies out there, June 2020, that are offering $8.75 an hour. Really? Really? Part-time? Wow. I mean, I think people should get at least 10. But hey, that's just me. You know, I know we're probably going through a little bit of deflation, so maybe $8 an hour would work. I think the minimum for Florida is $8.75. I'm not sure. I haven't checked. Anyway, those are my thoughts. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Let everybody know about this video. If anyone's interested in doing real estate investing, if you're interested in doing real estate investing, if you want to learn the ropes, then please get in touch with me. Come over. Let's sit down. I'll go over my program with you. I'll go through my little presentation on how it works, the benefits and all that. You know, working with me one-on-one. I do have experience with real estate. I can show you deals that I've closed on. I can show you properties that I've owned throughout the years. And yeah, I mean, if you want to do it, take the plunge. Let's do it. You know, so you know, my program is very affordable, and I do it because, you know, of course, there's a financial incentive for me, for you to be successful. Because when you go out there and you find transactions, find property, motivated sellers where the deal makes sense, you know, I'll buy the property, I'll pay you, you know, your referral fee. You know, you learn from my program, and then you can see what I do after I buy the property, whether I wholesale it or buy and hold it or you know, fix and flip it. So there's a big advantage. There's a big advantage to working with someone locally, a coach. So hire me. I'm here. Yeah, I put together a lot of things, you know, a lot of things that'll really help you out. So I'm here. So again, like, share, subscribe. If you have any questions, feel free to call me, email me. Let's get started. All right. Look forward to hearing from you soon. Later.